I think some of the tools that both you guys use are great. Obviously, the wealth of knowledge that you guys bring to the table is great.
I have had a business in the past where I've hired real-world people, and I've had a decent-sized team of sort of 6 or 7 people. I'm now starting business again and hiring virtual assistants. I've realised that I'm being lazy. I really need... It's even more important with virtual assistants, people working, you know, not physically in your office, that these things are really important.
The biggest thing for me was not just what you're doing, but the way you're actually doing it. I think there's a real perception out there that outsourcing, you just outsource it, you just get what, you know, you don't pay them very much and they're just a resource. But what you're doing is, I think it came through in everything you're doing, is treating them as people and valuing them as people. And I think that's a really important distinction with the whole outsourcing model that no one really talks about, is the way you're bringing people into the team, making them feel a part of a team, putting their pictures on the website and all that sort of thing. Yeah. I think is just so powerful. So learn heaps of stuff in terms of how to do or what to do. It's more just how you're doing it. I think that's so important.
This has been great. I spend a lot of my time systemising other people's businesses, but haven't really looked at myself. And the takeaway is really, like talking to myself, is how would your business look or go if you got out the way?
I've just been taking notes the whole day. I've got a number of projects which I'm running at the moment, and I think, yeah, for me there's just a number of things to go back to basics.
Dave, Pete, thank you for an amazing day. Chock full of practical stuff. That was great. I mean, you had it all. We had fun. Fiverr, like for $5, but to use that stuff to generate your own buzz, that's gold. Hiring an expert to recommend a consultant to build your system, that's beyond gold.
That is.
And for me, the big takeaway was that B team players are going to drag down A team players. Absolutely. Only hire A team players.
Coming from, I guess, a PA background, and like I am the VA, I am the person. I actually don't do systems, it's just me. And I work with businesses who are just me. Just seeing the whole system process and putting it out in those little flowcharts makes it so much better. And what I do naturally, I can now funnel out instead of in a practical sense versus just doing it.
I currently employ a few people, like 5 or 6 people, and there's no real structure to what I do. Like I do have a project manager, and I do have people that manage them, but I don't have start of days, I don't have end of days, and there's no way at all that I'm managing their effectiveness in general. There's no way that I've systemised their results. You know, I do the occasional video for them, but there's no specific system of training. So every time I hire someone new, it's eating up my time. And I'll hire people as Anthony was said, you know, just to do a job, not as an employee. And I think there's a big difference. You know, I'll hire them, you know, as a full-time employee, but I'm still only hiring them to do a job. Yep. And I think I don't want to build that sort of resentment between a client and an employer. I want to be able to teach them the best. And I think that shifting that mindset between treating them like someone you would as if they're in a building, that is really gold. And I think you attract different people into your business and you attract different results in your business. You know, you start attracting those 18 players, you get 18 results.
Pete and Dave was fantastic. It was great. I've been operating my own business for 4.5 years, and luckily came across systems probably at that time about 3 years ago, and they're fantastic. I guess this takes it to another level, but how it's applied with outsourcing, which we've only started probably 6 months ago. So it's given me the whole model to be able to really plug into that and make get a lot of benefits out of it. I think I admire a lot the transparency you've given us with all your systems and your operations. It's fantastic. And the way you treat your staff, whether they're outsourced and your own staff, is awesome too. And I'm taking some notes on that, and that's great.
I guess I'm fortunate that I've had a couple of chats with you guys before, so I got to see a little bit of this before. But what I've really got out of today is, you know, having a look over the fence and seeing how you guys do it from a practical sense, and you know, seeing how the systems work, not in theory, but you know, step by step. This is actually what we're doing, and that's been really valuable.
Firstly, thank you for sharing. It's quite amazing, and really appreciate that. I probably thought, I think what everyone's saying about like the hiring, I sort of thought you didn't have to probably put as much time in. So, and they are a key part of your business. So you do have to put the time in, not only with the training, but even just the process of going through the hiring and making them a part of the team rather than just, oh, yeah, you're doing some work for us. So that's really key. And just a reminder of going back to basics with business. So thank you.
Running a marketing course a few weeks ago with Pete. The feedback we got was the two most popular segments by far were branding and outsourcing. And it's clear that outsourcing is a very sexy topic and it's fun finding someone to work for you for $4 an hour, but clearly it's not smart. And so my takeout is that it is. I mean, it's not. This is about employing people. That's all. You know, like it really is. And we happen now. The world's changed to the point where we can outsource to any corner of the world and not look in our own backyard, and that's exciting. But it's not about finding $4 an hour workers. It's about finding really just being really smart about the way you do your work.
So yeah, I think you guys are pretty inspirational. I always love to hear the uni story. Because I skipped uni myself, I chose what everyone said, don't do it. So it's always good to hear.
I might have snuck in the room who actually went to uni.
Yeah. But I think probably the key takeaway for me, we're just building our own business at the moment, and I thought, can't wait to get a VA and just give them all the jobs that I hate. And I think for me it was sort of understanding, like, give them the things you can't do, not what you don't want to do, as a starting point. So
yeah. And
I think definitely you get out of them what you put in. So I've come from sort of 10 years working at HP where we outsourced so many call centres and things. It was always negativity, like the sales reps were, oh, you know, it's going offshore, we're going to lose control, it's going to be terrible. And so really just, I guess, working with those VAs and nurturing and growing and developing them as though they're sitting next to you, because they are people and they're an integral part to your success.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling a little bit gutted because that was basically what I was going to say. And I mean, it's essentially like all the stuff that you do when you employ your regular staff, and I think I probably had, I think I like to always think that I'm respectful to people no matter where they are in the world. But the grounding in that thought that essentially this is a person, and you are taking advantage of the fact that they live in a country where you can pay a lower wage. That's essentially what you're doing, but you are. Still a person is a person, they've still got the same set of ambitions and all the other stuff, and if you can actually create a career path for them and something that they can engage with, then that's that's a far better approach than sort of grease monkey, let's just throw jobs out into the wind and see how it plays. So I really like that, and there's just lots of little bits and pieces of some of the tools I hadn't picked up. I particularly like the thing you said about making reporting part of the process, like actually delegating the task and then the reporting back of it, just the start of the day, end of the day, that sort of stuff. There was some. Again, we don't outsource anything at the moment, so there's plenty of technique stuff to learn. But I think the spirit of what actually was said, saying similar to Anthony, was probably the most impressive part.
At James Schramko's thing, someone came up to me and talked to me and thought I was one of the Indian outsourcer people. But the way they approached me was just horrific. It was just, you just felt like such a resource. And I just thought if that was my business, I would have felt awful being approached like that.
Yeah.
But the way that you're doing things is just, I think, really powerful. Yeah. In terms of treating people as valuable parts of your business and treating them as people.
We're lucky, we're in such a little bubble here. I mean, we think I've had it confirmed that I'm not so far behind. I mean, you guys know a lot more, but there's a lot of confirmation for me today. But they're out there, the plumbers and all the kind of all the cliched businesses and industries and categories out there, they just don't know this, and that's why Luke and I do what we do with our show. But it's also such an opportunity for it to be shared, and it'd be really interesting to see what it looks like in 10 years' time, this kind of stuff, because we are just, I don't know about bleeding edge, but we're on some kind of edge.
Yeah. And I'm biased, but I think we're on the bleeding edge.
Well, I'm just at the beginning of setting up a business, and I feel like before I came here today, I had a jigsaw puzzle with the pieces scattered all over the place, and I knew that I had to put it together, and I just didn't know how the pieces were going to fit to make the picture. And I'm just scrolling back through my notes, and every question I had has been addressed.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Cool.
It was great.